In 1525, the Indian subcontinent was one of the richest places on Earth. Widely known as the Golden Bird, it was overflowing with resources. But it was also politically fractured, divided among rival rulers, making it a highly lucrative target. Watching from modern-day Uzbekistan was an exiled warrior named Zahir-ud-Din Muhammad, better known as Babur. He needed immense capital to build his own empire, and India's vulnerabilities offered a perfect opening. To claim that wealth, Babur crossed the Indus River with roughly 12,000 men. Waiting for him near Delhi was the Sultan Ibrahim Lodi, backed by a massive army of 100,000 soldiers and a vanguard of 300 war elephants. Facing these odds, Babur could not rely on the traditional Indian strategy of mass infantry charges. He instead shifted the focus toward defensive earthworks and foreign weapon technology to neutralize Lodi's advantage. At Panipat, Babur set a trap. He dug vast trenches across the battlefield, forcing Lodi's massive army into a narrow bottleneck. Behind this, tied bullet carts created a solid shield wall for archers, who fired lethal arrows up to 600 meters. But his ultimate advantage was a technology India had never seen in battle. Positioning cannons, Babur introduced the destructive power of gunpowder. The deafening thunder of the artillery broke the charge of Lodi's 300 elephants. Terrified by the noise, the massive animals spun around and trampled their own troops, triggering collapse. Winning the battlefield gave Babur the throne, but early Mughal rule was highly unstable. His son, Humayun, lost the empire, spent 15 years in exile, and shortly after reclaiming power, died tripping down library stairs. Advanced weapons could capture territory, but military force alone proved to be a fragile foundation for a lasting empire. The task of securing the dynasty fell to a 13-year-old boy named Akbar. He quickly realized that ruling as an invading warlord would only lead to endless rebellion. He had to make the Mughal dynasty part of India. He didn't soften his military. Akbar upgraded his forces with long-range matchlock rifles and equipped his troops with blades forged from incredibly sharp Damascus steel. To capture the hilltop fortress of Chittor, Akbar used engineering persistence. His forces spent months digging elaborate tunnels directly into the hillside to bypass the walls, a move that eventually broke the siege and expanded his empire to over 2 million square kilometers. Yet his most effective weapon was political inclusion. Akbar abolished the jizya, a tax levied specifically on non-Muslims, earning loyalty from the majority Hindu population and transforming subjects into allies. With a stable population, he poured resources into ambitious engineering projects, designing the sprawling new capital city of Fatehpur Sikri, complete with complex water-lifting machines and monumental architecture. By fusing unyielding military might with secular, inclusive policies, Akbar engineered a highly efficient imperial machine that united the subcontinent. This stability generated extreme wealth. By the time Akbar's grandson Shah Jahan took power, the Mughal Empire was an economic powerhouse. This chart shows India's global output at the time. The subcontinent was producing roughly 25% of all the world's manufactured goods. Shah Jahan funneled this immense capital directly into art and architecture, funding some of the most famous structures on Earth, including the breathtaking white marble domes of the Taj Mahal. He constructed the towering walls of the Red Fort in Delhi and commissioned the legendary Peacock Throne, encrusted with massive, priceless diamonds, to project total authority. The Mughals had evolved from nomadic fighters into the richest monarchs on the planet. But beneath this layer of incredible luxury, severe internal fractures were beginning to form. As Shah Jahan grew older, he appointed his eldest son, Dara Shikoh, a tolerant, secular leader, to succeed him. His third son, Aurangzeb, fiercely rejected this decision. In 1658, Aurangzeb launched a brutal coup. He secured the throne by murdering his brother, locking his father, Shah Jahan, inside the Agra fort for the rest of his life. Once in power, Aurangzeb dismantled the policies of tolerance that had kept the empire stable. He began destroying Hindu temples, forced religious conversions, and ruled through severe, tyrannical decrees. The blowback was immediate. Rajput and Maratha warriors launched massive, unrelenting rebellions. Instead of building cities, Aurangzeb spent decades fighting endless internal wars, that drained the empire's vast treasury. While the Mughals exhausted their resources fighting their own people, foreign merchants from the British East India Company were quietly expanding their outposts and tightening their grip along the coastlines. The Mughal Empire fractured under the weight of its own ideological shift. By discarding the secularism and military flexibility that founded the dynasty, Aurangzeb left behind a bankrupt, divided state that was easily dismantled by rising external powers.